Good morning, all the students and guests. This is our lecture on how to become a good corporate accountant. We have a speaker who is a cost and management accountant, and we have, I mean, he's a senior most person, senior audit officer, commercial from Indian Audit and Accounts Department, conducting compliance audit, financial audit, and other types of audit in central PSUs, public sector units, for the last 34 years. Compared to other external auditors here, he has got in-depth knowledge about the big corporates like you talk about HAL, BHEL, ECIL, NMDC, like a big governmental organizations. Commercial mean to say it is a, these are all into this, we call them as commercial, the companies are a corporate companies. So he's going to explain you as an accountant what you should know to become a good corporate accountant. So now, sir, the session is open for you, sir. It is handed over to you, Srinivasa Prasad Garu. You can take the session and please continue. Sir, are you there? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're reading me.
Start off only. Yes, sir. Please start.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to you all. Today's topic is how to become a good corporate accountant. And what generally we feel is that accounting is an isolated topic which is not having any relation to any other vertical like stores or material management or any other thing. But if you have good knowledge of, one more thing is that you have to give a lot of inputs to other departments where you get into your own module by which you are making payments and issuing contracts and everything. So that I'll discuss today in detail in the following slides. Okay. I think you all are able to see the screen now. The role of an accountant is integrated with functions of various verticals in the company. Hence, Chief Financial Officer is also designated as Financial Controller in some companies. To become a good corporate accountant, one has to understand the duties and responsibilities of Finance and Accounts Department in the company, which I am going to explain in detail in the following slides. One, first of all, we have to prepare an annual financial budget for the company. We have to take inputs from all the concerned departments in financial inputs and prepare the budget. While preparing the budget, and we have to see that thereafter, whatever bills we are getting from various departments will adhere to the financial budget or targets, not beyond that. And we have to even coordinate with the supply chain consisting of stores and material management, marketing management. And very importantly, we have a feeling that all statutory compliances can be taken care by various departments. But in respect to GST also, though the inputs are given by stores and material management, we have to be very careful about their data in the module, which based on which we'll be paying our payments. And we are also having a very critical area where we have to maintain various books of accounts of the company as per the Company Act. And we have to also coordinate with the auditors and various external agencies too, like banks, income tax department, GST offices like that. Okay. Now, one by one, we'll see. First, coming to the point of preparation of annual financial budget of the company. We have to initially prepare the format required for our controlling purpose and a broad heads of expenditure and income and give it to the respective departments. And thereafter, we obtain the inputs from all departments and summarize and prepare the final budget. And we have to put it up for the approval of the competent authority. And who is the competent authority here? As per our board minutes or board approvals, we will decide who is the competent approval. And the competent approval also is mentioned in the delegation of financial powers of the company. And after getting the approval by the competent authority, we have the duty also to circulate our entire approved budget to all the verticals for strict adherence, so that in future, whatever they are sending us, they will be looking into the budget and see that whether it is within the budget and budget is available for the expenditure or not. This is one of the very controlling aspects of our finance and audit department. This is very critical also. Many places, even at the board level, data finance will be on one side and all other directors, including chairman, will be on the other side, cursing us. You are stopping the payments, you are stopping the approvals like that. But unless we are very strict about its controlling aspect, the company will not run in the proper perspective. Otherwise, it will end up in loss. Now, after completing the budget, now our routine normal process is we will be passing bills for payment, which are received from various departments. And here, once again, we have to know that we don't have any authority to prepare any bill. We have an authority to pass the bill, which is sent by other department. They will be sending the bill based on the inputs what they have. For example, if they have received the stores from a supplier, then they will be sending you the bill along with the stores inward note, where they mention the quantity received, inspected, and also the quantity after inspection, how much they are accepted. Based on the accepted quantity only, we have to pay the payment. So we have to look into all these things, plus the budget also, approved budget may is the amount unda leda chusukovali. Next ఏంటి approved budget లో ఈ expenditure ఉందా లేదా చూసుకోవాలి. మళ్ళీ delegation financial powers అంటే every company has a set of rules who has powers to sign the finances and who can make the payments. దాని ప్రకారంగా ఎవరైతే చేయగలరో వాళ్ళు చేసిన కాగితాలకే మనము we can pass the bills. If they are not authorized to sign as per the delegation, we have to say you don't have the power. We should be brave enough to say that there is no power. Otherwise, everybody will come to us and say, pass my bill, pass my bill. Finally, if any problem comes, even in inquiry, CBI, anything, only finance person will be caught first. We have to be very careful. Even, and one more problem we have is that most of these small undertakings, finance man will be the smallest level person, and other departments will have highest level persons. There also we have to succumb to the pressures, but still we have to control the pressure as far as possible, and we have to manage that pressure without any problem to ourselves. And we have to also verify due process is followed as per the respective SOPs. Now, in every company has one standard operating procedures. Previously, we used to call them manuals, purchase manual, stores manual, accounts manual, like that. Now they are called SOPs, standard operating procedures. There they mention, if for example, if you want to issue a purchase order, what is the process? For this amount, whether you go to open tender or closed limited tender or single tender, like that, they'll give all details in that. We have to see that whatever papers we are getting to our section are received after following the due process as per the approved SOPs. Next, we have to verify all past bills for expenses are accounted in the proper head of account. After passing the bill, next item what we do, we will enter in the expense head. We have to see that we are putting in the correct expense head. If we do mistake here, we will be ending up in a wrong accounting process. This is purely our process where we can't do a mistake. And sometimes you have a problem with repairs and maintenance, whether you have to give in the capital account, asset account, or repairs account. There you have to see that if the expenditure on the repairs is going to add to the life of the asset, then we have to add to the value of the asset, or it is only whatever the huge amount also. If it is not adding value to the life of the asset, then it will be only a revenue expenditure. This is one of the great things while accounting we have to do. Revenue expenditure and capital expenditure differentiation. Capital expenditure is one which is capitalized and taken into the balance sheet. Revenue expenditure is one which is going to P&L account. And all incomes also. Whatever sorts of income we have to see that we are properly accounting in our books of account. This is also pure core accounting job only. Next, payment of supplier payments are to be done based on the quantity received and accepted as per the rates of the purchase order. The source person will send us the source inward receipt where he'll say after inspection, quantity received, accepted and rejected. And we have to make only payment for the quantity accepted and not quantity received if something is rejected. Okay. Next, and tender openings. In every tender opening, a finance man will be the part of the committee. This is part of a big organizations. The small things, nobody will care about anything. But we are talking about a good corporate accountant. So we are discussing about a huge organization. And here, what we mean is that a good corporate accountant means from a normal accountant. So all tenders are opened in the presence of finance person. He has to ensure that the process as per SOP is followed and the lowest bidder is properly evaluated. Here, in evaluation purpose, what happens? When you ask for the quotation, you give format. Still, what people do, some people give for one item, other people will give for two items, some people will add GST, some people will not add GST. So we have to take care of all these things, all the parameters, and add everything for every bidder, and then total it up, then only evaluate whether it is really a lowest quotation or not. Next, once again, in every purchase contract, we have a clause called liquidated damages. Liquidated damage means in case of delay in supply by a contractor or supplier, then for the delay beyond the scheduled delivery date, we levy some penalties for him. That is called liquidated damages. So in case of delay on supplies from the supplier, we have to even see the reasons for delay and see if the delay is due to the mistake or problem of the supplier, then we have to deduct liquid damage also from the bills and then only pay the balance amount to him. And verify whether the estimates prepared for orders placed for the purpose of executing sale order. Here, what happens when we are going for quoting for our sales? There also we have to really verify the estimates, how the contracting department is preparing the estimates. There, if they take the mistake in the preparation of estimates, there also we have the risk of losing the order and thereby loss of production and loss of profit. So we have to be very carefully see that the estimates are correctly taken as per the inputs available in the finance module and as per the exact and correct valuation purpose. And next, valuation source is one important item based on which, see, valuation of source. When the source are coming, receipts, that valued either LIFO or FIFO weighted average method. Most of the time, people are valuing at weighted average. The weighted average can be monthly weighted average or weekly weighted average, depending upon the volume of receipts they have in that item. So the valuation is one of the very important aspects here. That also we have to take care in respect to stores department. And if we are valuing incorrectly, it will be affecting the issues valuation also. and thereby the cost of the product also will go up, which is incorrect. And at the same time, the valuation of clothing inventory also will be affected, which will be resulting unnecessary profit or sometimes unnecessary losses also. If you have more profit unnecessarily, which is not a really profit, then we have to pay wastefully the income tax also on the additional profit. Hence, the valuation of the stores is also very, very critical aspect of the finance core function. Next, same as we saw with marketing department, verify whether the bids submitted for the contracts contain the correct estimates of cost for inputs so that bids are not lost for improper pricing. Next, adherence to statutory compliances. Here, whatever it is with the compliance, we may feel that compliances are taken care by the production department or some other department, but still we are to have monitor all the compliances. Verify whether the bids submitted for the contain the correct estimates of correct. Next, preparation of various books of accounts of the company. Here, it is our core function. As I told you, first of all, we have to know that we have to differentiate between the revenue and capital expenditure. One more thing is that we have a principle called matching principle in preparation of the accounts, where it says that if you are taking the revenue for any sale order, you have to also book the relevant cost. If you don't book the cost, if you only take the sale, the profit is unnecessarily increased. And if you book the cost only, don't take sale, then the loss is increased. In this aspect, the matching principle is very, very important item where we have to take care. And now, based on the certain parameters given by the Company Act, some companies will follow Indian accounting standards. Some companies has to follow the normal accounting standards. So there we have to be very conversant with the latest provisions so that we will be knowing that whether we have to follow the Indian AS or AS only. For this, we have to be tracking the Companies Act latest amendments always. And here I request to suggest that we can't purely go with the advice of our auditors or consultants because they may also be not following the latest updates, but we shall expect they are updating themselves. And if they don't update, risk is only for us. We will be preparing wrong statements and we have to pay the penalty to MCA and everything. So we have also to look into all these aspects. Though we are depending on the consultant, we also have to do our own verification in respect of these things. Sometimes suddenly based on some turnover, you may have to implement Ind AS instead of AS. Then you have to restate previous year figures also once again. In these cases, we have to be very careful. Next, accounting policies. In every accounts, they are having policies for which accounting policies they are. For example, wherever we have the scope of having different types of policies. Income income expenses, depreciation, on what basis we are providing depreciation. For example, our income is based on the contracts. So contract means which is extending beyond 1 year period. So for that, how you are going to take the income? A lot of items are there where we have to have the accounting policies for that. And these policies should be in adherence to the compliance with the accounting standards also. We can't frame a policy which is not as per accounting standard. And all these policies, before we are implementing or putting in the accounts, we should get proper approval from the board of directors. And they are the people who are competent to approve the accounts too. Here, we should be very careful that accounting policies, if we are changing anything in this year or current year, we have to take the timely approval from the board of directors for the application of the new accounting policies in our current year financial statements. And preparation of financial statements as per the Schedule 3 of the Company Act. And for all companies, there is a proper formats for P&L, profit and loss account and balance sheet as per the Company Act. We have to strictly follow that, and we don't have any authority or we don't have any scope to avoid that. We have to strictly adhere to the format. If we are not adhering to the format, it is mistake on the part of the company. Here also, once again, what happens? We may depend upon the auditor and he may say, no, sir, you can do like this. But don't believe all these people. As far as possible, you try to comply with the statutory formats. Otherwise, if any problem is coming, the question will be only on the accountant who will be penalized by the corporation. So we have to be very careful in adherence to the formats of the Company Act. And same as per the various standards, we have to give various disclosures in the accounting statements, financial statements, cash flow or something, and a lot of things like that. All the disclosures should be properly given by us as per the accounting standards. We can't miss out on that. And sometimes auditors may miss because they may not know much about our company and they may miss some things. We have to give much inputs to them, all inputs what they require, so that they can really tell us or give us a good advice. And capitalization of assets, both intangible and tangible assets. There also for capitalization, you have accounting standards. Based on the standard only, you have to capitalize, what to capitalize, what not to capitalize. Beyond that, we should not do mistake. And same way for depreciation also, how to calculate depreciation, you have standard. And for example, to provide for early encashment, gratuity, all these things also, there are the standards where it shares that you have to follow the actuarial valuation given by the actuary for every year. So all these things, an accountant also should see that, and they have to advise the company. But the only problem nowadays is that in small companies, our owners or management is more carried away by the auditor's opinion. And if accountant says something, they say, "Arey, choda yaar, auditor bol diya." But reality is that we have to be very careful ourselves also. In such cases, take a written opinion from the auditor, though we have to pay money to them, and you write that based on his opinion only we are doing. Otherwise, they'll be charging you for your failure for not telling them afterwards. So we have to be so much careful about all these things and ensure internal controls. And this is also one of the major area for our core finance purpose. Internal controls for every aspect, we have to see that there are existing internal controls in proper place and all are working properly. And in small companies, to exhaustively work internal controls, it is difficult. But in bigger companies, unless you have controls, you don't know whether the company is properly, finances are properly run or not. Or not only finances, in any department, it is a big thing where we have to think internal controls are in proper place in all the stores, so maybe it is metal management, everywhere, internal control. And nowadays, for financial statements also, auditor has to give a report on internal controls over financial reporting. That also he will ask us, you tell me that you are all have controls. For that, you have to get it audited by some other auditor, or this auditor only will do the audit. And based on that report, they'll certify that all the internal controls are there in respect of the company's financial reporting purposes. And after completing all these things, now we have to submit our financial statements to the board of directors for approval. That is also our core job only. Our job is to get approved from the board of directors. Then next what we'll do, then only auditor starts his business. Though practically what happened, auditor will come and do the audit, watching and everything, even before the approval of the board of accounts in the board of directors meeting. But actual audit report and everything is given by the auditor only on the approval of the accounts in the board. And here once again, one more basic and core duty for us is that we have to coordinate with various auditors of the company. maybe it is cost audit or statutory auditor, internal auditor, whatever it is. And for internal auditors, we have to prepare a format which is reasonably going to give us a checks for all the departments and verticals. So prepare the format in which internal auditors has to submit their report along with the checks they have to perform. And whatever auditor, any auditor who is coming to our place, no, will ask, give me so much information. In some companies, what they do, they go for a outsourcing of the accounting. There also, the CA will come and ask us, you give me that, you give me this, everything. Only the person who is staying there, he has to give all the inputs. There are also many people in Tally. Tally, the biggest problem is that we not only Tally, any computerized accounting package, we don't need to know whether it is rightly taken as debit or rightly taken as credit. Because whatever way you take, other entries are automatically taken there. So in these cases, we have to use our own knowledge and see that we are properly accounting everything. And whoever is coming for any audit or anything, they ask us only information. We have to go on giving the information to them. Unless we give proper information, we will be told that we only misled them. So it can't be like that. One more thing, in case of statutory auditors, we have to be very careful about this. We think that his duty is to give the report on the accounts and he does everything fine. But I have seen an experience that sometimes they also miss the latest formats and latest requirements which are to be submitted, and they submit in a incorrect formats. In such cases, unless we also should know what auditor should give us, then only we can guide also or sometimes take care of the report for our company purpose and see that he is submitting the proper report in proper format in which he has to submit. In case of statutory auditor, to submit all types of certificates, and he'll ask us a lot of certificates, and we should be able to timely submit all the certificates what are required for him for his certification purpose. Based on that, he will be giving his report. If we delay in submitting the information to the statutory auditors, they may delay the report, and finally the management will be asking the finance department only for the delay in the auditor's report. And it is a common practice everywhere in the company to blame only finance person always, because he is a small man who can bear all the problems. Whatever they say, he'll be simply hearing, because he'll be the lowest person and all our departments will contain the higher level persons. And verify whether a statutory auditor has given the auditor's report in the proper format as per the latest requirements. That is also one of the, otherwise what happens, at least in private companies, you don't find a difference. In government companies, after the statutory auditor has given the audit report, then the audit report along with the accounts will come to the CNDG of India, that is Controller Auditor General of India. మన కాగానే వస్తుంది, పేపర్లో వస్తుంది కదా, వీళ్ళు మళ్ళీ దాన్ని ఆడిటింగ్ చేస్తారనమాట. ఆడిటింగ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆడిట్ రిపోర్ట్లోను అకౌంట్స్ తప్పులు ఉంటే పట్టుకుని మళ్ళీ ఆడిటర్ని అడుగుతారు. ఇలాంటి చోట్ల ఆడిటర్ కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు అడుగుతాడు, అరే వాట్ డిడ్ యూ డూ యార్, యూ నాట్ గైడ్ ది ఆడిటర్, యూ నాట్ టెల్ హిమ్ లైక్ దట్, ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. సో we should be able to, though it is duty of auditor to give a proper report, we also should know that what are the requirements he has to follow, so that we will not be in trouble afterwards. And verify whether statutory auditor has given the auditor's report in proper format as per the latest requirement. And coordination with various agencies also, only we have to take care. And any information from GST office, income tax office, GHMP office, anything, only they come to us. They only ask us, you only have to give everything. We don't know anything. You are the best person always. But that is the main reason we have to know something about all departments, and wherever we have to be, we have to go, we have to meet the other authorities, and we have to discuss with them. We should know the basics of what other departments are doing, on which we have to discuss with the these things. Income tax department, and once again, they may give a notice. For that, we have to reply and everything. GST offices. And nowadays, because GST also income tax both are become online, and there also we should be able to properly give us replies. And in case of a implement, nowadays, every company more or less is having an ERP, and our role as an accountant has been very much increased in the respect of ERP implementation, because we should be taking care that in all the modules of the ERP, wherever the module is prepared, there, what all, one thing is that from every department, from stores also, our department finance will get the input, our module will get input. From purchase department we get inputs, from marketing we get inputs, from all departments we get the inputs into our module. So we have to see that all these inputs which are coming to our module are properly formatted, properly inputs, all inputs are taken by the other modules or not. That, so we have to be verifying each and every item of the other modules documents formats also in respect of the implementation of ERP. So it is very, very critical for us. Any problem is there, some item is not coming, we can't prepare our report or we can't prepare in our accounts. And one more thing what happens is that preparation of fixed asset schedule. That is one of the items where we have to prepare our asset schedule for the balance sheet purpose. For that, whatever inputs you require, additions for the year, deletions from the for the year, all these things, and depreciation till date, and depreciation for the year, entire format, whatever is cutting, no, all the information, unless you are getting from the department where who are doing the capitalization. Capitalization is done based on the some document received that it is put to use. So there also we have a lot of responsibility in implementation of ERP. We can't simply say, oh, not my job, like that. Even the managements, they should give a thought and they should give more importance to an accounting person in respect of the ERP committees where they are implemented, so that their accounts are properly prepared and it happens in the proper formats, instead of simply sidelining the finance person, Array, you don't know anything like that. But it is very serious. And special interest should be taken in respect of formats of Schedule 3 of Companies Act. Here, once again, because we are preparing the accounts and we have to prepare in the strictly with the format, we should get all the inputs in the ERP or any accounting package, what is required to prepare in the Schedule 3. Once again, having so much computerized accounting, computerized ERP and everything, still, if you go how to prepare something based on the Excel sheet and everything, that is one thing is that is not going to really say that output is from the system. System output కాదు అది, ఎందుకంటే ఎక్సెల్లో కొడితే మళ్ళీ మనం ఎంట్రీ చేసి ఇచ్చిన అవుట్పుట్ లెక్క అవుతుంది. అందువల్ల సిస్టంలోనే వచ్చేట్టు చూసుకోవాలి నేను. అది కావాలి అంటే వెల్ ప్రిపేరింగ్ ది ఈఆర్పీస్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, మనము మన ఫార్మాట్స్కి వచ్చి డాక్యుమెంట్ వస్తున్నాయా లేదా, ఆ రిపోర్ట్స్ వస్తున్నాయా లేదా, ఆ రిపోర్ట్ వచ్చే వరకు మనము ఫైటింగ్ చేస్తూనే ఉండాలి. ఇంప్లిమెంటేటివ్ వన్ మోర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఇస్ దట్ ఆల్ దిస్ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్, they have some time schedule. And one more real problem is that any ERP implementation, the consultant will come to us and ask for our requirements, and we don't know how to give our requirements, and he does not know how to understand our requirements. Here what happens, no, we have to simply give them all the formats what we have, what we are presently doing that, and we should explain him what is the purpose of that, and we should see that he is doing that properly in the taking the requirements properly. Otherwise, what is happening? He'll come back to us and say, you only have given the requirement. But at the time of giving requirements, we probably never knew that is going to be the output. So we sometimes give unknowingly some inputs, which because we give like that, only because we do not know how to give the inputs for the requirements. This is a very critical area where even the management has to worry about, and if necessary, they have to scrutinize the inputs or requirements, system requirements given by, and they have to give more time for finalizing the requirements and freezing requirements. If they don't do that, and they end up in a wrong package, which will not give any output, and once again they'll be going to use only Excel sheet for finalizing the books and accounts. This is in ERP implementation also. We have a very critical role to play. And tomorrow, if something happens, we have to say, I have to prepare an Excel sheet once again. So how much data is there? How much data you will prepare Excel sheet? So what happens? What all benefit should be derived from the ERP? The accountant will not be able to derive because the required data for him is not available in the ERP package. So he has to once again separately collect it as usually, as he used to do before normally, manually, and then prepare, which is a time consuming and a big process once again. Hence, we need to have a very critical and scrutinize the inputs and requirements given for the ERP consultants. This is very critical job, and because of this only many ERP packages are simply implemented without any good accounting module. Accounting module are always something wrong. Now we have finished all the slides till now, and now what I feel is that a good corporate accountant, that means a corporate accountant means a CFO of a company. A CFO of a company means maybe in private sector is a small man, but in a government sector, the central government of a company, he is part of the board. He is called Director of Finance, and he is appointed by the President of the India. All board of directors are appointed by the President of India based on the selection process, and they are responsible for all the acts to the government, not to the company. And they are in the level of joint secretary to the central government office. They are in the level of joint secretary of the cabinet secretariat. And thus, a good corporate accountant is one who understands duties and responsibilities discussed above, and thereby becoming integral part of the inputs given by all verticals of the company to our finance and accounts department. Unless we verify what are the inputs they are giving before they give, we will not be able to prepare our accounts correctly. If we are unable to prepare our accounts correctly, it is only the failure of our core functions of our department. Hence, we have to be very careful about verification of the inputs of the other departments. Next, a good corporate accountant is one who does not work in isolation from other verticals. He is always part of the other departments. And one more thing is that, last and final, one who works as a defense lawyer before the auditors for all the mistakes done by the other verticals. This happens, everybody does their own mistakes. Finally, if auditor is asking a question, we only have to answer. Nobody will come forward, including the management. And nowadays, one more great problem in the private sector companies is that they have an internal audit department, and that is given to a private chartered accountant who comes and sits here. He'll be putting his article clerk there, and they use them as the control over the finance department. Not as a reality is that internal audit department is kept there for the purpose of statutory compliance, and that should be really what is wrong or what is mistake happening to find out the mistakes of the accounting process. But they are using them as a controlling purpose for the finance head. So we should be a good defense lawyer also before the auditors for all the mistakes done by other verticals. We don't have any say, because that is why I say that we should try to reduce the mistakes other verticals by getting ourselves involved in that, so that we need not reply for more mistakes to the auditors. And one more last line, what I have to add is that in my entire experience, what I've seen is that a good corporate accountant, that is a good CFO or director of finance, can also be considered as the best candidate for the position of chief executive officer or managing director of the company. That is, he has a lot of information about the technology, procurement, supply chain, and marketing, everything, plus finances during the entire journey from accountant to the director level. In the process, because of undergoing so much process, he is a best candidate for the chief executive officer or managing director. And nowadays we find that many of the government, some government companies are manned by, or head of the company is a finance man. That is one of the very good things in our studies what we have. If you are a good corporate accountant, we have the understanding of all the departments, you have understanding of all the intricacies of the organization, what is going to, then you can better manage all the problems and give solutions to the management properly, because we have the knowledge of all the verticals in the organization, because we have worked for so many years from down to top in various sections of the finance department, and also interacted with the various other personnel of other verticals. This is a very great thing. If you want to become a good corporate accountant, then you are just best CEO also. Try to become a good corporate accountant. And if you follow all these things, what I told till now, then you are definitely a good corporate accountant. There's nothing more to do about this. If you follow the due process, you are a best corporate accountant. No worry, you can be rest assured that you are the great person in the company. Next, now the last slide, I have to thank our all the participants, at the same time our organizer Prakash Garu for giving me the great opportunity of interacting with the people, and I have the passion to interact with the people who are into basic studies and who are doing some computerized accounting and all these things. One more suggestion I have for the people who are looking for employment. In our department and income tax department and central excise departments, the recruitment is done through staff selection commission at the Delhi level, and the examination will be conducted in a proper fashion. No problem will be there. Every year, if you go to the site staff selection commission, you can see the calendar, which exam is conducted when. Based on that, you prepare well. If you get a job in government setup, now the pay packets are very huge. The staff selection commission, one exam is called common graduate level examination. In that, if you get the top post in that, the starting salary is 80,000 rupees per month, cash, not CTC. That's why try to be knowing all these employment opportunities. And if you have a PG, try to, if you don't have PG or MBA also, MCOM or MBA, no problem. You try to have one, so that when you see some group A post, group A means higher level of posts which are recruited in the government sector. For that also, in advertisements, they ask for postgraduate degree, either MBA or MCOM, so that you can have the eligibility to at least apply for the examination. And be seeing all job advertisements, and all government jobs mostly will come in employment news newspaper. But don't be under the impression that all government jobs only recommendation like that. Not like that. Most of the central government jobs and banks, all these things are timely advertised and timely given recruitment is made, and most of the time they are conducted properly and you get jobs correctly. No worry about that. be worrying about seeing more notifications. Don't simply be happy with what you have. But now I am doing some job in the high-tech city like that. Try to employment is showing that. One more biggest problem is that our commerce people will have feeling that నా లెక్కలు రావు అందుకే నేను పరీక్షలు రాయలేను. లెక్కలు రాయడానికి ఏం లేదు అందులో. అక్కడ వాళ్ళు అడిగేది క్వాంటిటేటివ్ ఆప్టిట్యూడ్. అంటే ఏంటి, చిన్నప్పుడు మనం చదువుకునే కాలము పని అలాంటివే ఉంటాయి. దానికోసం మనం భయపడి ఆ పరీక్షలు రాయడం మానకూడదు. అవసరమైతే వీ హ్యావ్ టు డెవలప్ ది స్కిల్. ఆ స్కిల్ డెవలప్ చేసుకుంటే ఆ పరీక్షలు రాస్తే మంచి జీతాలు వస్తున్నాయి, మంచి ఉద్యోగాలు వస్తున్నాయి, చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంటుంది లైఫ్. అందువల్ల ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఆల్ ది పీపుల్ టు ప్రిపేర్ ఫర్ దీస్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్ అండ్ గెట్ ఏ గుడ్ జాబ్ అండ్ సక్సీడ్ ఇన్ దట్. ఎందుకంటే ఇవాళ మా డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో, అవర్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ఇండియన్ అండ్ ఆడిట్ అండ్ అకౌంట్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్, విచ్ ఇస్ హెడెడ్ బై కంట్రోలర్ ఆడిట్ జనరల్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా అట్ ఢిల్లీ. మనకి పేపర్లో వస్తుంటే కాగి రిపోర్ట్ అని అన్ని మనం తీసిన పాయింట్లు, అంటే మా డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో వాళ్ళు మాలాంటి వాళ్ళు తీసిన పాయింట్లు ఫైనల్ గా అక్కడ వస్తాయి. అలాగేంటంటే వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ ది ఆడిట్ బియాండ్ వాట్ సిఏ డస్. అలా కూడా మీకు సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ ఉంటుంది. అందువల్ల మీరు ఏం చేస్తారంటే గవర్నమెంట్ జాబ్స్ ఎలా రావాలి, దానికి ఎలా కష్టపడాలి, ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి, ఆ నోటిఫికేషన్ ఎక్కడ వస్తాయి, ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ న్యూస్ పేపర్లో వస్తాయి, అలాంటివి కూడా మీరు చూసుకుంటూ ఉండండి. అండ్ మై సిన్సియర్ అడ్వైజ్ ఇస్ దట్ మన వాళ్ళు, తెలుగు వాళ్ళు ఎక్కువ మంది ఆ పరీక్షలు రాయట్లేదు. అందువల్ల ఏమవుతుంది, మనకి అంత బయట వాళ్ళు ఢిల్లీ, రాజస్థాన్ వాళ్ళే మనకి ఎక్కువ మంది ఇక్కడ హైదరాబాద్లో వచ్చి పనిచేస్తున్నారు. మనం కూడా రాయడం మొదలెడితే ఆ ఉద్యోగాలు మనకే వస్తాయి, మనం కూడా కాంపిటీషన్లో ముందుంటాం. అది ఇవాళ. అండ్ నౌ మీకు డౌట్స్ ఉంటే యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ ఇట్ సమ్ డౌట్స్ విచ్ ఐ కెన్ క్లారిఫై యూ.
Yes, sir. Sir, you gave us a good inputs actually for these people for jobs in taxation side and account side in government organizations, how they have to appear and what are the salary structure and all. It's so nice of you, sir. And then they gave the input. Achha, now I request all the students, you can unmute the mic and you can ask sir about any doubts if you have any sort of a queries, because it's a sort of a new lecture compared to other programs. He has given you in-depth knowledge in auditing part of it. It is auditing is a very, very important function of the an accountant. Yes, please, all of you unmute the mic and talk, please. Hello. All of you. Hello. Sir, Mawal, I think they have hesitation. Yes, మాట్లాడండి. పేరు చెప్పి మాట్లాడండి ఫాస్ట్. హలో. హలో సుశీల గారు అండ్ వసంత గారు, మీరందరూ మాట్లాడుతుంటారు కదా. యూ జస్ట్ when the speaker has come, you have to take advantage of this program. Speak out. Sir, okay.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. మాట్లాడండి అమ్మా.
Sir, good morning, sir. This is Sujata, sir.
Okay.
Sir, presently I am working in Karvi with internal audit department, sir.
Okay.
So presently I want to move to other companies. I am in search of a job. Presently I am trying on internal audit only, but there is no openings for auditors, sir. They are recruiting CA qualified persons only. So my doubt is, I am having experience also. So why they are not recruiting experienced persons?
What is your qualification, madam?
MBA Finance, sir. MCOM and MBA Finance.
Yeah, the real problem is that in internal audit, most of the time they're taking only CA inter or CA final people.
Yeah, sir.
And others, even if it is CMA also, they're not taking.
Yeah.
they
And they
feel
are taking semi-qualified persons also. They are taking CA semi-qualified persons also. But even though we are having
yes,
experience, they
I
are
know.
not taking the.
Yeah, the funniest part is that in our country, all recruitments are done by based on some presumptions, which are always most of the time false. They
Yeah.
feel only CA inter person can do much,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
CA final person can do much. And I ask many people who are CA inter or something, ask them what is the balance, bank balance you have take in your accounts, whether it is balance as per passbook or balance as per cash book. They will think many times to say what balance, and
Okay.
finally they say bank as per passbook.
Yeah.
You
Which
take as
is
per
wrong.
passbook,
Yeah.
will your trial balance will tally? Will not tally.
Yes.
So you have to take only as per your books.
Cash book.
Okay.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, but most of the time they don't know. But public, I mean, generally management feels that all CA people are fine. They come for an audit and they say always income tax payments, TDS payments, GST payments. They only see that, nothing more, nothing less. Only see income tax compliance, TDS compliance, GST compliance. But in our country, the problem is that we have to bear, managements are not understanding the reality about internal audit. And one more thing is that in internal audit, the scope is if you are not a CA inter or CA final, better go to other job profile, leaving the internal audit,
Yes,
go to
sir.
other section.
Yeah, sir. That's why I've joined IPS, sir. I want to move to accountancy side only. Why? Because I'm not getting any calls on audit part. So that's why I want to go to accountancy side only.
No. First of all, try to change your line
Yeah.
to other seat in your own office first.
Okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, just like in software companies, quality control is there, and our accounting companies, we have internal audit departments. Both are getting a scope of moving to other companies is less for them.
Okay.
And even though you are, and because what happens, no, others will not leave the department, so you can't get a new option.
Okay.
So best option is that move to accounting line from internal audit, you know, own company, work for 6-7 months, then you can get a opening in a accounting section otherwise.
Yeah,
and if you
even
still
I'm
have
also
some
thinking.
and if you have age behind you, go for a staff selection commission examinations where you get a huge salaries and loyal. Being for a lady, for ladies, you have a lot of comforts in central government offices, child care leave, maternity leave, lot of leaves. And because you have MBA and MCOM, ESI Corporation, IGNO, all these things, no, they give an ad for assistant registrar, assistant registrar post queue. They give advertisements. There they ask for PG only. In IIMs and IITs also, they ask PG.
Okay.
Because you have PG, you can go into a client. They'll not see what is your requirement. But if you are going for government organization, you should know that you have a book in government called for financial powers. They have a book for a name. You buy that book if you are going to interview in a government organization, where they ask about only that.
Okay.
And if you have finance, MCOM and MBA, best thing is that.
I have done MBA finance.
Yeah. Best thing is that you go for assistant registrar post in IGNO or IIM or IIT or any other organization, government organization.
Okay.
You have to search all these advertisements only in the employment news newspaper, which comes every week.
Okay, sir.
Now, most of the people in present generation don't know what is employment news.
Yeah, sir. Earlier we used to see employment news, but nowadays, okay.
You regularly, even today, my age is 60. Still, I go through employment news only to tell the people.
Okay, sir.
Very good.
Yeah. So you are suggesting me better to move to other department in same company.
Not other department.
Accounts.
Job profile. Other profile.
Job profile and then career line. Don't.
Yes, sir.
Make a career line.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes,
sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Ask question.
Anyone? Yes,
sir,
please.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Sir, good morning.
Sir, my name is Kamal. I want to know
Ah.
about the future of the CMA institute, so that they are lacking of tax audit concerns, sir. Actually, CMA course has various opportunities, but they are lacking tax audit, and also in the foreign, in the Canada accounting proficiency, the both CA and CMA institutes are clubbed into one institute. Is there any kind of situation in India? Thank you, sir.
బేసిక్గా కమింగ్ టు ద ప్రాస్పెక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ సిఎంఏ, ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుత కాలంలో సిఏలు కూడా ఈవెన్ సిఏ ఇది అలాగే బెటర్ జాబ్ ఆపర్చునిటీ అని ప్రాక్టీస్కి వెళ్ళాలి, మర్చిపోయి జాబ్ కావాలనుకుంటే హ్యాపీగా సిఎంఐ ఒకటే, సిఏ ఒకటే, అన్ని ఒకటే, తేడా లేదు మనకి, అసలు బాధపడక్కర్లా.
సార్ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ లో కూడా సార్ ఇప్పుడు సంథింగ్ ఇంటర్నల్ ఆడిట్ అన్నా కూడా కేవలం సిఏ వాళ్ళనే తీసుకుంటున్నారు. ఏదో జస్ట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈక్వల్లీ కాంపిటెంట్ కదా సార్, అందుకని అంటే ఫ్యూచర్ లో ఏమన్నా
అదే మీకు మాట చెప్పాలి, కరెక్ట్ ఏంటంటే నాట్ గెటింగ్ జాబ్ ఇంటర్నల్ ఆడిట్ ఇజ్ మీకు మంచి వరం, అది అందులో ఉద్యోగం వస్తే అక్కడి గ్రోత్ ఉండదు. ఇంటర్నల్ ఆడిట్ లో గ్రోత్ తక్కువ.
ఓకే సార్, ఓకే సార్.
అందువల్ల అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలి మీరు తప్పనిసరి పడకండి. నార్మల్ అకౌంట్స్ లోనే మంచి మంచి ప్రొఫైల్స్ లోనే పనిచేసుకోండి. ప్లస్ ఎస్పెషల్ ఏంటంటే చాలా వరకు ఓ సెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది కదా, వాళ్ళు ఫైనలైజేషన్ చేస్తారు, ఫైనలైజేషన్ అకౌంట్స్. ఆ సెక్షన్ లోకి రాగలిగితే ఎక్కువ లాభం ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఫ్యూచర్ గా మన పైకి వెళ్ళిన కొద్దీ, టాప్ పోస్ట్కి వెళ్ళిన కొద్దీ ఆ అకౌంట్ ఫైనలైజేషన్ వచ్చిన వాడే కంఫర్టబుల్ ఉంటాడు పైకి వెళ్ళిన కొద్దీ. ఆ ఫైనలైజేషన్ సెక్షన్ లో పని చేయకపోతే కంఫర్ట్ ఉండదు పైకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు. అందుకోసమైనా మనము ట్రై టు గెట్ ఇన్ టు ది జాబ్ ప్రొఫైల్ వేర్ యు ఆర్ ఫైనలీ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది ఫైనలైజింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఫైనాన్స్ అకౌంట్స్ ఇన్ ది కంపెనీ. ఇంటర్నెట్ కూడా బాధపడదు, వేస్ట్.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు ప్రొఫెషన్సీ పరంగా చూసుకుంటే ఇండియాలో ఫ్యూచర్ లో ఏ విధంగా ఉండొచ్చు సార్? ఒకవేళ అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫారిన్ లో చూసుకుంటుంటే సిఏ అండ్ సిఎంఏ అనేటువంటి ప్రొఫెషన్సీస్ రెండు ఒకటిగా అయిపోతా ఉన్నాయి. ఆల్మోస్ట్ అన్ని కంట్రీస్ లో, కెనడాలో కూడా రీసెంట్ గా చేసినారు. ఇండియాలో అట్లాగా ఏమన్నా ఒక ఫైనాన్స్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్, ఒక కాస్టింగ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ విధంగా అంటే ఏంటంటే సార్ సొసైటీలో ఒకటి తక్కువగా చేస్తున్నారు సార్. అందుకని ఇప్పుడు సిఎంఏ అంటే అసలు ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ కూడా ఇందో ఇది సిఏ కంటే కాదు అన్నట్టుగా ఉంటా ఉన్నది. సో ఫ్యూచర్ లో ఏమన్నా ఒకటిగా చేసే ఛాన్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటుందా సార్?
అది ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే గ్లోబల్ గా ప్రపంచంలో అవుతున్నప్పుడు మన దగ్గర కూడా ఆటోమేటిక్ అయిపోతుంది, ఇవాళ రేపేనా, అది వరి అక్కర్లా.
ఓకే, ఓకే సార్.
దాని వరి అక్కర్లేదు, అందరూ చేసిన మనం కూడా చేస్తాం. బికాస్ మనది ఎలా ఫామ్ అయింది, యూకేలో సిఏ వస్తే మనకు సిఏ వచ్చింది, యూకేలో సిఎంఏ వస్తే మనకు సిఎంఏ వచ్చింది. అలాగే అన్ని చోట్ల అక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చాయి మనకి. అలాగే అక్కడ మారిపోతే మనం కూడా మారిపోతుంది.
ఓకే సార్, మంచిది కదా.
2 రోజులు లేట్ అవ్వచ్చు కానీ మారిపోతుంది. బట్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ వాట్ ఐ సే ఇస్ దట్ మనకి నేను సిఎంఏ లేదా వాడు సిఏ అయినా మనలో ఒక రకమైన ఇన్ఫ్లుయెంట్ కంపెనీస్ వద్దు. నేను చూసిన చాలా చోట్ల గవర్నమెంట్ కంపెనీస్ చాలా చోట్ల చూశాను నేను. బిగ్ కంపెనీస్, బిహెచ్ఎల్ కానీ, ఈసీఎల్ కానీ, ఎన్ఎండిసి కానీ చాలా చోట్ల చాలా మంది సిఎల్ కన్నా సిఎంఏలే చాలా బాగా పనిచేస్తారు.
సార్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ సెక్టర్స్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ సిఎంఏ
చాలా బాగా పనిచేస్తారు. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళల్లో ఒక రకమైన భయం ఉంటుంది, మరి నాకు అది రాదు ఇది రాదు అని. దాంతో నేర్చుకోవాలి ట్రై చేస్తారు. సిఏ అనేప్పటికీ తెలియకుండానే వాళ్ళలో నాకు అన్ని వచ్చు అనే భావన ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి గ్రోత్ లో నేర్చుకోవడం తగ్గిపోతుంది వాళ్ళలో.
సార్
అలాగే మీరు ఇవాళ రోజుని చూస్తారు కానీ, లేకపోతే మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైం ఒక 10 years బ్యాక్ దాకా కూడా అన్ని సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ కంపెనీస్ లో డైరెక్టర్ ఫైనాన్స్ అంటే సిఎంఏనే ఉండేవాడు. సిఎంఏ ఇస్ నాట్ ఇన్ఫీరియర్, బట్ ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఇస్ దట్ ఈ స్టూడెంట్లు చదువుకునే వాళ్ళు. మొన్న కూడా ఒకళ్ళు ఎవరో అంటున్నారు, సార్ సిఏ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ కదా, సిఎంఏ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఈజీ కదా అని. అలా కాదు,
అదేం లేదు
కాదు, రెండు రాసేవాళ్ళు. వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ దట్ వాడు సిఏ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ రాస్తున్నాడు, CMA ఇంటర్మీడియట్ రాస్తున్నాడు. వాడు ఏమంటాడు, CMA ఇంటర్మీడియట్ పాస్ అయిన తర్వాత CA ఇంటర్మీడియట్ కన్నా ఈజీ అంటాడు. కాకపోతే రియాలిటీ ఏంటి, వాడు CA ఇంటర్మీడియట్ రాయకుండా CMA ఇంటర్మీడియట్ మాత్రమే రాస్తే CMA ఇంటర్మీడియట్ కూడా పాస్ కాడు. ఎందుకు? వై ఈజ్ ఏబుల్ టు ఫీల్ CMA ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఈజీయర్ ఎందుకు అంటే, మే ఎగ్జామ్ కి CA చదువుతాడు, జూన్ కి మళ్ళీ CMA చదువుతాడు, అలాగే నవంబర్ CA చదువుతాడు, డిసెంబర్ కి CMA చదువుతాడు. అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి, CMA ప్రిపరేషన్ 2 months నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయింది.
డబల్ టైం జరుగుతున్నట్టు.
అందువల్ల వాళ్ళు ఈజీ ఫీల్ అవుతారు, కానీ అది అబద్ధం.
సార్
ఎందుకంటే నేను కూడా అది రాశాను.
ఓకే సార్.
Because they study more for that, it is happening like that.
Sir, I think you have covered and then gave them some good tips. Actually,
Thanks.
CA, CMA, and CS, company secretary. See, company secretary is a main. He is also called as a CEO, or there is also the finance persons, and then all these persons are coming under his department only. Yes or no, sir? Because the presentation of accounts are done. Yeah. So.
సార్ అది ఎందుకంటే ఒక కంపెనీ
No,
సెక్రటరీ
he's a separate one. He's
Yeah.
but coordinated with all these departments. What I'm trying to say that CA, CMA, CS, all these three are very, very important. Portfolios only. These positions only
డెఫినెట్లీ ఆల్ ది 3 ఆర్ వెరీ వెరీ క్రిటికల్ టు ఆల్ ది కంపెనీస్.
critical to all the companies.
వీళ్ళు లేకుండా కంపెనీ ఉండదు.
Yeah. So that is what I'm telling you. And also,
and one more suggestion for the people is that if you want to study company secretary or CMA, better choose only CMA, not company secretary, because a company may have only one company secretary job, whereas same company may have 3 or 4 CMA jobs.
So many all the accounting and finance. Yes, sir.
You have more jobs for CMA and less jobs for company secretary.
Yes.
So if you take the risk of doing company secretary, you have less jobs at your disposal.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. All the students, you see, because he gave you the tips, employment opportunities, and how to make the career planning, all those things, and he discussed elaborately. I request all the students, unmute the mics. Please give him a big hand. All of you. Open the mics. Andaru. Okay. Thank you. Sir, thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Our students are saying thanks to you, sir. Great of you.
One more thing is that even somebody has a doubt, because Prakash sir is my number. You can message to me any doubt. I'm free to reply anything. No issue about it.
Yes, sir. I will pass it on to you,
anything.
sir. Nice of you.
Anytime, anything.
Yes.
You can ask me doubt in message.
Yes.
I can give you the reply for that. No issue.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot, Andy. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
We
Thanks.
close this.